Ypsilanti School Board Candidates panel sponsored by the Washington County Democratic Party. At Washington Dem's meetings, we start the meeting with the land acknowledgement, which I will read. Washington County occupies the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Anishinaabe of the Three Fires Confederacy, the Ottawa, Ojibwa, and Potawatomi. The Washington County Democratic Party recognizes historic Indigenous communities in Michigan and those who were forcibly removed from their homelands. Washington County occupies land ceded in the 1807 Treaty of Detroit. In offering this land acknowledgement, we affirm Indigenous history and experiences. Thank you. I should mention I'm Eli Nathans. I'm a member of the Washington Dems Programs Committee, and I helped to put this program together. A couple other preliminary remarks. Although the sponsor of this panel is the Washington County Democratic Party, so a partisan organization, this is a nonpartisan race. We have invited all candidates for these positions, and there are 3 open positions on the Ypsilanti School Board to participate in this meeting. We did not ask about party affiliations. There's some noise in the background. This meeting is open to people from any party. The meeting is being recorded. The video will be posted on the Washington Dems website and will also be available for anyone to view. I would like to ask participants please to keep their mics off during the meeting. There's a tendency for background noise to interfere with proceedings of Zoom meetings if mics are left on. It may also prove helpful to keep the videos off when you're not speaking. It prevents the system from kind of going down, in my experience. I'd like to now introduce 2 individuals who play critical roles during this panel. One is the timekeeper, Caroline Nathans. So in interest of full disclosure, she happens to be my better half. She also is the director of the FLI Ypsilanti tutoring program, a program run by the Family Learning Institute that this last year tutored 70 children at Erickson and Holmes elementary schools in reading and helped bring children up to grade level. Not every single one, but many. It will continue this coming year. I'd also like to introduce our moderator. We're gravely honored to have David Rutledge playing this role. He has a long career of public service in Ypsilanti, in Michigan, and actually for the country. He chaired both the Washington Community College Board of Trustees and the Association of Community College Trustees Board of Directors, headquartered in Washington, D.C. From 2011 through 2016, he was a Michigan state representative for the 54th District, which included Ypsilanti. From 2016 to 2021, he taught at Central Michigan University. He also was a Vietnam-era military veteran. He served in the United States Air Force and reached the rank of captain. With that, I'm going to turn this meeting over to the moderator, David Rutledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eli. It's really a privilege to be here and have this honor to participate in this candidate forum, I call it. I'd like to thank you, Caroline, our timekeeper, and the Washington County Democratic Party for sponsoring this activity. I was glad that you called out the fact that this is nonpartisan, but it is informational, and there is a responsibility to share information in as broad a spectrum as we can. So thank you for that. I'd like to get started now. I'm as anxious as anybody to hear from the candidates. Let me just call out the names of our candidates, and you'll hear much from them. Don Espy is with us. Dr. Celeste Hawkins is with us. Talisha Sutton-Kennedy is also here. Alex Pontois is here, and Allie Suffety is here. Candidates who decided to step out and participate in this election process. I'd like to just briefly go over what the ground rules are in the format for this panel. First of all, each of you will have 2 minutes to speak. I will ask a series of questions, and the audience will have an opportunity to chime in and ask questions. 2 minutes for your response. Caroline will speak at the 30 when you have 30 seconds left. She will chime back in and speak when your time is up. She'll simply say 30 seconds, and she'll say 2 minutes up. I will enforce the ground rules here. I also want you to know that I want every person, every participant candidate to have an opportunity to be asked a first question. So we'll start in alphabetical order, but then when we go through one round, then I will ask the next person in the alphabet the question. So everybody will have an opportunity to have a first question. I think that's it from my perspective in terms of the format. So let me kick this off by asking the first question, and I'll go through a couple of these, and then I'll open up the floor for participants who would like to, or our audience who would like to chime in with a question.
David, if I could just ask, do you want to give the candidates a chance for a 2-minute introduction before
I'm absolutely coming to that.
Okay.
Yeah. In terms of the audience participation, when I open it for the audience, there is a function on your screen that will allow you to raise your hands. And that is, you may see a little heart-shaped function at the bottom of your screen. If you click on that, inside of that, you will see a raised hand function. You raise your hand, and I'll be able to call on you in the order that you raised your hands. If there happen to be some information coming in via chat, Eli Nathans will help me monitor the chat piece. I think that's all. Now I'd like to call on each candidate, beginning with Don Espy, to just kind of give us a thumbnail bio sketch of you and why you are running for this seat on the YCS school board.
Thank you,
Don?
David. Yes,
Yes.
thank you. Hi, my name is Dawn Espy. My pronouns are they, them, and I am excited to be a candidate for the YCS school board. I'm originally from Detroit. I was raised by public school educators, and over the past nearly 15 years, I've been in Washtenaw County, getting my own education and also supporting folks around me. So I started off in a master's program at University of Michigan, where I gained a degree in psychology, and I studied adolescent identities and their sense of purpose and development. From there, I took my research and wanted to use it in direct ways. So I started working at Ozone House, which is a nonprofit in Washtenaw County who works with young folks, particularly those who have housing instability. And I had a really great opportunity there to not only have time with the young people in the space, but also in my role, I was the education program manager for the education project for homeless youth. That is a program that is in partnership with the Washtenaw Intermediate School District, where we serve students across the county to make sure that students they're experiencing housing instability or homelessness, that they still have the opportunity to enroll in school and attend school and succeed, having all the things that they might need to do so, whether it's having backpack and school supplies or transportation to school. And at this point, I am actually working, continuing to do consulting. I have been supporting social justice training in schools over the past years, and I am deeply invested in creating equitable options for young people in our communities. I live in Ypsi. I have children. I am a parent, and I am excited for the opportunity to really invest further into this community. And thank you.
Dr. Hawkins, you're next.
Excellent. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here. I appreciate the invitation. I am just a little bit about me. I'm a wife. I'm a proud mother of three wonderful children who are now young adults who started off in Ypsilanti community schools in kindergarten. They are now, I have a college graduate. My youngest is heading into college, and my daughter, who is in the middle there, is a rising junior. I hold a doctorate degree from in education from Eastern Michigan University. My master's degree is in social work, and my undergraduate degree is in psychology. Most of my professional career has really been dedicated to working with vulnerable, oppressed, and underserved populations. I've always been a tireless advocate for children and families, particularly those gripped by poverty and social injustice. So in addition to my volunteer role currently now, I serve on the school board for Ypsilanti Community Schools as the president, and I'm a professor at Eastern Michigan University. I have contributed to the community in a variety of advocacy and volunteerism programs throughout Washtenaw County. I'm deeply invested in this community, and I would consider myself a servant leader. I decided to run for the school board. I was appointed in 2012 when Ypsilanti Public Schools and Willow Run Community Schools merged, and I was elected for 2 additional terms on the school board. So I am deeply humbled by the opportunity that community has put their trust in me to serve and support this district and this community.
Thank you. Thank you. Talisha Sutton-Kennedy is up next.
First, I wanted to thank the Washtenaw County Democratic Party for hosting this event and providing this opportunity. I'm Talisha Sutton-Kennedy. I'm okay with any pronouns. I'm a mother of 2 daughters, age 17 and 6. My family moved to Ypsilanti in 2018 after living in Ann Arbor. We moved to Ann Arbor in 2014, and so my oldest daughter is finishing her senior year at Huron, and my youngest daughter attends Ford's Dean Early Learning Center in Ypsilanti. Initially, when we started looking at schools for our youngest daughter, we heard many parent concerns regarding safety, experiences, and interestingly enough, transportation as it related to the Ypsilanti community schools. But we're a family who did our due diligence, and we explored some schools, and we are happy that we did. And I've been really excited and happy about the experience that we've had with YCS. And so we've been really advocating for YCS schools to anyone who will listen, really, and so that further deepened our love for the community that we've become a part of since we bought our home here in 2018. I hold degrees in biochemistry and molecular biology and pharmaceutical chemistry, so I began my career in research. My passion for education led me to become a substitute teacher, pursue a master's degree in curriculum and instruction. And so I also work as an after-school tutor and lead some after-school programs as time allows. I'm running for the YCS board because I want to translate my passion for education into effective policies that support our students and families. And I believe in providing every student with a high-quality education, regardless of background, and elevating the teaching profession. Thank you.
Thank you, Talisha. Alex Pontois, you're up.
Well, hello. I'm Alex Pontois. I've been living out since 2009. We moved to our house here in 2011. I have a BA in cultural anthropology. I've worked at U of M since 2009. Supporting various administrative things in the hospital. I have a wife and one kid who's been at Ford Early Learning Center for a couple of years, and he's had a remarkable time and made amazing progress with the wonderful and amazing team at Ford Early Learning Center. And I'm very much motivated to do everything I can to support and protect the wonderful work that's being done at YCS on behalf of our community.
Okay, excellent. Allie Suffety is next. Allie? Is Allie present? Okay, let's move to the next. I'd like to ask the candidates, beginning, first of all, if it's okay, I'd like to refer to everybody by their first name. Is that okay going forward? Okay, might help us with time. And Celeste, you get the first question. This next question. What do you see as the main strengths and challenges of YCS?
I would say the main, yep, I was muted. I had to get to the button. I would say some of the main strengths for YCS from my perspective would be really the sheer determination, persistence, and resilience of the school district and the community in which it resides. I think YCS often there's a perception issue, and until you've had your children in the district and you've had the opportunity to engage with phenomenal teachers and administrators in the district, it's a little bit difficult to hear people not speak positively about the district. So I would say those are the three characteristics that would probably best describe YCS to me: persistence, resilience, determination. I believe we're risk takers, we are change makers, and we are innovators and barrier breakers in Ypsilanti community schools. I would say, so repeat for me, Mr. Rutledge, the second part. Did you say some of the challenges? Just
Yes.
so I'm clear.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I would say one of the bigger challenges for Ypsilanti community schools, since I've served on the board, would be the perception of YCS, the finances of YCS, and some of the academic challenges of YCS. And I note those simply because when you think about the debt, when I came to the district, we were really saddled with a lot of debt that was really challenging for us. So now that we have that debt behind us, it's exciting for us to see where this district will go in the next 10 years. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary in the district as a merged district, Ypsilanti Community Schools. Thank you.
Talisha, same question.
Thank you. I'll start with the challenges that I see for Ypsilanti Community Schools right now. And I think one of the greatest strengths is definitely diversity, community. I've noticed a really strong community support, especially from folks who are based from the Ypsilanti area, as well as the ongoing efforts across the district to improve and increase access to programs like the dual language program at Ford and Estabrook, the IB program, and STEM pathways across the district. And so I think those add some key things that will attract families to the district. And there's also the strong partnerships the district has with the local colleges and universities that provide the early college and dual enrollment opportunities, as well as the after-school tutoring and support. And so those are some of the strengths that I've identified for the district. In regards to challenges, some of the challenges that I'm currently aware of include the need for the district to improve that reputation, I think that Celeste just mentioned and talked about, is important for attracting talented educators as well as students and retaining them as well. Another challenge is related to transportation. Some of the biggest issues related to transportation that I hear from parents are about the timeliness of transportation and poor parent experiences when they're seeking support from the transportation team. And so, you know, those things are also important in ensuring that parents are comfortable and confident with their students attending school in the district. And lastly, attracting and retaining both students and talented educators and that increasing student achievement levels.
Alex, you're next. Same question.
Well, starting with challenges, I don't want to retread. We've covered perception issues and transportation issues. I've also heard that we have trouble retaining paraprofessionals. We keep losing them to surrounding better, wealthier districts, better resourced, wealthier districts. But I've been just blown away over and over at the care and effort and a willingness to just like help out and take care of each other that I've noticed over and over in this town. The people in this town are, I don't know, like I don't want to live anywhere else. People here are just decent. They take care of each other.
Okay.
But as far as the school, you have to forgive me. I got like 3 hours of sleep last night. So
that's okay. That's okay. We'll move through this. I thought you were starting to talk about the strengths.
Yes. Firsthand, I've observed a very dedicated, diligent, professional staff working and going above and beyond in so many ways, just all the time above what is expected or required of a school. And I've just over and over been impressed with the effort to which people in our schools are also part of what takes care of the town, also part of our community, and very, very present and very visible. So again, part of what makes this town wonderful.
Okay. I'd like to go to the next question. Oh, no, I'd like to go to Dawn and give her a chance at this question. Dawn.
Thank you, David. I mean, as many have said, I don't want to repeat anybody here, but I certainly think when I think about the Ypsilanti schools, I think about the diversity of educational options. I think about all of the amazing programs that are within the different schools. I've had the opportunity to work with students who are in the nursing programs, who are over at ACE, who are in programs at the elementary schools and taking the Spanish immersion courses. And so it's been really wonderful to see this expansion over time. I've had the opportunity, as I said, to be working with the school district for over 10 years almost 10 years at this point. And so I've really seen this growth and appreciation from the students and what they're being offered and the challenges that the way that they're being challenged academically has been wonderful. I would say yes, as far as some of the things that I believe are challenges for the district, certainly thinking about the finances and transportation. As I mentioned earlier, I've spent a lot of time, at times I felt like I was a cab dispatcher in my role, trying to support different things that students needed and trying to make sure that everyone had access to the school. And that continues to be something that is difficult for our students, particularly given the way that our district is set up. Right. And so I think that certainly that's something okay, thank you. I pay attention to, and I do think about that concept of the competition that Ypsilanti has in terms of holding their students and retaining educators and students, both with the surrounding as charter schools in the area. Ypsilanti covers a lot of area, and we have to, particularly as you think about transportation, it's also about the location of the schools and people's access to them. And so those are certainly things that come up for me when I think about some of the challenges we have.
Let me go to the next question. We're almost 30 minutes into this, and we'll do just a couple of more questions, and then I'll open it up to the floor. Talisha, would you start us off with giving us what your understanding of your role as a new board member would be? What do you understand as your role as a trustee on the YCS school board?
Thanks for this question. For me, as a YCS board member, my primary role is one of oversight and governance. So the board is responsible for recruiting, hiring, supporting, and evaluating our superintendent, ensuring that they are empowered to lead effectively and deliver on district goals in alignment with our values. So as a board member, we would establish policies, establish and develop policies that shape the district's vision, ensuring again that they align with the community and students' needs and our values. So the board plays a critical role in making sound financial decisions, to allocate resources in ways that best support student achievement. And so this would include approving curricula, text, and instructional programs, advocating for the public school system, fostering student and school relationships. And so I think additionally, the board is responsible for setting the district's strategic direction and protecting the core values of the school. And again, just that financial stewardship. So personally, I'm a strong believer in self-accountability, and I do my best to hold myself accountable in all things. And so even as a board member, one of the things that would be important is that, you know, we also hold ourselves accountable to meeting the goals that we set for the district, and ensuring that we meet those goals and outcomes. Thank you.
Alex, how do you envision your role as a new board member?
Well, I would be very specifically accountable to the community and the students and all of the other people involved, the staff, the faculty doing good work at the school. The role of the board is specifically one, a broader, more oversight position rather than like in the weeds on very, very specific items. And so we would have a lot in terms of shaping how things come into effect, but oh goodness. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm losing my thread a little bit. It would be a role of making sure that our policies allow the system to continue to function and help foster its growth.
Okay, thank you. Don, same question.
Thank you. And I think certainly, one, as a new board member, one of the first things I would be I'd be prioritizing is listening. Just coming into a new space, understanding the concerns, the issues that are going on in the community, within the board and the board culture. It's important to be able to work with the other folks you're serving with, and that includes the superintendent, right? And so not only are we working with each other, but we're working with the superintendent, we're supporting her, and we're also occasionally having to do some checks on her, right? And hopefully that's not that often, but it is there, right, as part of our role as a board. In addition to that, I really see us as an ambassador for the district. As board members, you have the opportunity to really, we talked about the perception of Ypsilanti schools. As board members, we have a really amazing responsibility and opportunity to celebrate the district, and share out about the successes and the highlights. And again, yes, financial oversight, governance oversight, those are things that we absolutely are responsible for. Understanding how to read a budget. Luckily for myself, I've had a number of opportunities. I currently am a consultant for nonprofits, so I spend a lot of time working with boards across Southeastern Michigan. So not only I actually provide education for how boards should function, right? And help boards reach their excellence. And so I'm in a position where not only am I excited about the educational aspects of this work, but I also have the experience and understanding of what it looks like to support a healthy and functional board.
Okay. Celeste, same question.
So I'm not so much a new board member, but this would be a new board term. And so I'll answer that question, I guess, in the same way that the other candidates did. I know the role of the school board to be one to hire and evaluate the superintendent. Our role is to set and adopt policies, our governance function. Our job is really to be good stewards of the district's resources. We have to have a laser sharp focus on student achievement and really looking at the whole child. So thinking about not just the academics, but the emotional, social, and academic growth of all of our students, and making sure our students have what they need to be successful, and making every decision through a lens of equity. I would also say, to piggyback on what was already said, our roles are really to be advocates, champions, bridge builders, supporters, and to remember that we serve as an 8-member team, 7 board members, and the superintendent. We work in tandem together to make sure that we are in pursuit of reaching the goals of not only the district, but to really ground ourselves in doing what is best for students.
Thank you. I'd like to pose this next question to you. I think we're back to Don. Is that right? First question.
I don't believe Alex has had an opportunity to go first yet.
Alex. Alex, let me put this to you. What specific skills and experience would you bring to the board?
Well, I have to say that even just being in the same room with such accomplished and respectable other people, I'm a little feeling out of my depth. But I've done a fair amount of community organizing in terms of supporting unhoused people and making sure that there's community meals. I can't take much credit for that myself specifically because it was a very much group effort. But there are a bunch of ongoing projects that I've gotten to be a part of. In my professional roles, I've sat in on different policy committees in different departments. And so I am able to, I have some policy experience, at least in the professional, like hospital setting. And I have a young kid in the district who I want to correct myself. He's actually done 3 years at the Early Learning Center. He's going to be starting kindergarten, although it's still up in the air where he will be going because I guess that's still being figured out. Yeah, I have, yeah, I have my son who he's been I've been learning a lot about various developmental and speech language things as a consequence of working with my son. when I went to school, one of the electives I took was linguistics, and there's the Chomsky universal grammar theory of like how language comes to the brain. And my son chucks that whole theory right out. He doesn't. There's a type of grammatical learning called Gestalt language processing that is just I haven't read like anything academic where what it has to do with Chomsky's universal grammar theory, but it seems to like just be out. It made every understanding about how language acquisition worked, just chucked it right out, and I had to build a new one, like entirely new understanding. So yeah, I guess I don't have credentials in the subject, but I've been learning quite a bit.
Okay, thank you. Would like to come to you now, Don. Back to you. Same question.
Yeah, thank you. As far as some of my skills, as I mentioned, I do work with boards regularly. I also have been an advocate for young people in this community. I've been working directly with them in different groups and different spaces across Ypsilanti, across the county over the past years. And so that certainly puts me in a position where I've built relationships. I've had, opportunities even to serve with Dr. Hawkins on the School Justice Partnership previously at the Washtenaw Intermediate School District. So I've been looking at these issues, whether it's talking about students who are experiencing discipline issues, whether it's students who I've gone to schools to talk to students about their mental health and well-being. I've talked to folks about experiencing homelessness and instability. So these are things I'm incredibly passionate about. I'm also incredibly passionate about social justice, particularly doing work in anti-racism and supporting young folk who have different gender identities and sexual orientations. I worked with Shift in Ann Arbor previously at one point to support students and to make sure that trans students at the schools had access to bathrooms. Beyond that, I don't recall a time in my life where an experience of mine was not a teaching or a learning moment. As I said, I'm an educator's child, and I've been a coach. I've been a camp counselor. I've taken on so many different roles to support youth that I am really excited to have the opportunity to again be in a place where I can empower them and really do work to give them the best opportunities possible. So yeah, I think that as far as skills and experience, I'm in a very good position to support the district. I do have 2 children, and I witnessed them experience their educational struggles, and the different things in their own development. And so I'm just grateful to continue to be able to support them, and learn about how I can do that better, with the whole community.
Thank you. Celeste, I know you're there, but talk to us about the skills and experiences that you have brought to the board.
Thank you. I would say the skills that I've brought and even developed, I guess, being part of the board would be being a leader, a collaborator, someone who deeply understands being a parent and the importance of parent engagement and involvement. I would also say, having served on the board for so long, kind of the lens I brought to that was my educator lens, my social work lens, and kind of marrying those two. I know the importance of being engaged, not only as a parent, but as a community member. And therefore, I make it a point to always be present in the schools, in the community, because you need to know who you're serving. And so I think attending community events, district events, be it in the schools, is really something that served me well, serving on the board. I would also say just really coming to the board with this passion and understanding for wanting to do something differently as it related to disproportionate rates of academic achievement and discipline that was adversely impacting students from marginalized communities.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Talisha, same question.
Thanks. Some of the skills that I bring are data-driven decision-making, collaborative decision-making, nonprofit operations and finance experience, nonprofit policy development, working as a member of a team, and some educational consulting work. So my background is in research, and I have a deep passion for education, which has led me, again, as I mentioned, to pursue master's in curriculum and instruction. So I've served as a substitute teacher, after-school tutor, and after-school program director, which has given me some hands-on experience in our schools. Those roles have also deepened my understanding of some of the challenges that educators and students face, as well as some ideas. But again, being new to the district, it's important for me to learn and build relationships and really deepen my understanding of the history of this district. As a parent who has moved across multiple districts before settling in Ypsilanti, I bring a broad perspective on educational environments and systems and different systems. My oldest daughter has been a part of the public as well as the charter school districts. Professionally, I've, as I mentioned, I worked in a nonprofit operations, legal, and finance since 2018. So I bring that experience with me as well, and a strong foundation in governance, budget management, strategic planning, and all of those skills I feel would be essential to the role as a school board trustee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Let's kind of pause here and kind of let you guys catch your breath for a minute. I want to go to the floor now and just see if any of our participants who may be viewing this or maybe on the phone will have a question that they'd like to direct to the candidate, any candidate. And the way I will handle this is that you ask a question of a specific candidate, if you happen to. I'll give each a chance to respond, but feel free to ask just a question of each of them. I mean, that's to make this really fair. So if you could use your hands function now. Anybody present would like to pose a question? Just take a deep breath, candidates, because I have a number of other questions to ask. I don't see any hands raised, and I'm going to ask our host to help me if he's seeing anything, to just let me know. I'm not seeing. Eli, if you're seeing any raised hands, I don't see any. So I'm going to continue with the questions.
Actually, David, if I could just ask you, we have a new arrangement with the bell. Could I just check and see if people can hear the bell this time? I'm going to ring it. This might make it easier to watch the times. Can you hear the bell?
We still don't hear a bell.
Still don't hear a bell. Okay.
Do you have a bell?
We do. It's right here. It's visible, but it's not audible. It's not serving the function of a bell.
Okay. Let's ask Caroline to continue in the vein that she has, but to speak louder when she's calling out the 30 seconds and the time and the 2 minutes are up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'd like to come to you, Don, now and ask about academic achievement. Academic achievement is one of the most important metrics that you would be asked to monitor as a board member. Do you have thoughts about any policies that you might recommend that would improve academic performance?
Thank you for that. When I think about academic achievement, I do think it's incredibly important. I think it's also critical to look at a child's whole school experience, and not solely measure their success based on their GPA or their grades. When I think about some policies that are really helpful, I think or at least in my opinion, it's really valuable to put a emphasis on social emotional learning as well. I find that when students have positive relationships with each other, with their teachers, with the other educators and administration in the building, that they're more likely to have academic success. And so I think building out those additional aspects of the learning environment are really critical. I think also I'm always hesitant around policies that penalize any students, right? And so I think that trying to keep students in school as often as possible, thinking about how we can provide them with alternative educational options when there is a situation where they're not able to attend or that they're having difficulties. I think continuing to pour into students rather than move them into classrooms where they will not necessarily get the challenges that they need.
30 seconds.
I also think when it comes to academic achievement, again, it's important, and Ypsilanti does a great job of this, of emphasizing the idea of a broader educational experience outside of just like this college preparatory program. And so I think that there's a really great opportunity to continue to enhance those types of programs.
Celeste, same question.
Thank you. I would say, well, before I answer the question, you want me to answer the question related to the importance of academic achievement in our schools? I want to make sure I'm clear.
You're asked now to just monitor. You're consistently looking at how students are performing.
Mm-hmm.
Are there certain policies that have not been tried that you think might influence or help increase the academic performance of our students?
I would say that school districts who continue to explore expanding options for students academically. So, in YCS specifically, we now have magnet schools. We are expanding our IB curriculum. We're expanding our STEM options. So I think as long as we create opportunities for access and exposure to a rigorous and engaging curriculum for our students, to me, that is connected to positive and strong academic outcomes. I think making decisions about curriculum, being very clear that you're making decisions grounded in equity, making sure the students who we serve are see themselves reflected and represented in the curriculum that's being taught, engaging in really courageous conversations around what our students are facing, what we're able to teach, what restrictions are being placed on what we can teach. And I think being firmly grounded and planted in who we are. And so that might bump up against policies, right? And I think we have to be really strong advocates and know who our students are and advocate for our students and what they need. And I think the last thing that I will say on that would be, I think in the role of a board member is that we have a big responsibility to adopt, to set, policies, and we also approve curriculum choices. And so I think asking some of the tough questions, making sure that we're monitoring our student achievement data to make sure the curriculum choices that we've selected are really effective in achieving the outcomes that we have for our students in our district. So those are the things that I would say from a policy standpoint and from a practice standpoint, are really, really important in helping our students to get to wherever that next step of their educational journey is, whether it's college or whether it's something like a trade, or whatever they decide to do post graduation.
Thank you. Talisha, your thoughts on the same question?
First, I think I would agree with everything that Dr. Hawkins and Don have said. I would add that, as I mentioned, I don't have too much data on our student achievement levels just yet. Of course, I've gone on the Michigan schools data and the, I think it's ICES who provides the national data as well. And I've been doing some digging there, but it's nothing that will compare to the learning and the research that will need to be done as I continue this journey and hopefully to become a board member for the school. And that would really further inform any decisions and policies regarding academic achievement. But some of the things that I would be looking for is policies and curricula that prioritize early intervention in literacy and numeracy for elementary students. I think it's Dawn mentioned anything that integrates social emotional learning as well, so that we're ensuring to support the whole child, especially because as we provide additional supports for that social emotional learning, it can reduce the chances that students have behavioral challenges, and so we can keep them in the classroom. Some other things that I would look for in policies to support equitable access to advanced coursework, continuing the work that the district has already been doing to provide, AP programs, STEM opportunities and other opportunities. So students have options for just advanced learning, higher levels of achievement, and learning that supports the variety of ways we know our students learn. And so lastly, I would just say continuing to evaluate student achievement and then improving our policies and practices as an ongoing effort. Thank you.
Thank you. Alex, your thoughts around this idea of improving academic performance?
Well, again, sincerely heartened to be in this room, in this chat with all of these policies and discussions I'm hearing are evidence-based, well-supported. Like everything I've heard, I'm just so glad that, like, however the election goes, the leadership of the school board is going to be in the hands of people who are very much rooted in what is actually going to help our community and our students. So yeah, I just the points I'm most excited about, there's where there's hunger, there's where there's unmet needs at home, scores are worse. And I see our school reaching out and helping out with that. And I'm very proud to be in a community that does that. And want to, Dawn brought up reducing suspensions, because yeah, that's not an evidence-based behavioral modifier. That does not help students. That doesn't improve their behavior. It doesn't get the outcomes we're trying to get. So, there may be times where it is indicated for the safety of all involved that a student not continue to attend. But if we're interested in, the outcomes of all involved, suspension, not the best policy. I was taking notes. I also want to underscore a thing that I've really noticed is that the teachers and staff really, really care. And I'm just really, again, this is just one parent's experience in the district, but I've just been very much impressed with the way that the staff and the support staff have gone out of their way to help in every way they can.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to I'd like to now go back to, I still see no hands from the
Okay.
audience. So I'm just gonna,
Yeah, I'm
back
sorry.
to you for another moment, Alex.
Yeah, just another 10 seconds.
You have another
also-
point that you wanted to make on the previous question?
I really wanted to underscore Dr. Hawkins' point about seeing the students seeing themselves reflected in their curriculum and their community reflected in their curriculum. That is another thing that is very evidence-based practice that will help outcomes for students. And so I really wanted to just drive that one home as well.
Okay.
Hey,
Let
Dave,
me,
if I could just interrupt for 1 second. Allie
Yeah.
Suffety, Allie Suffety just arrived. So he is now in the room for the first time. I don't know if you want to acknowledge him in
And I
some way.
apologize. I had the wrong time in my clock. I had it at 7 o'clock, not 6 o'clock. I apologize for being late. Just carry on, I guess.
thank you. And we will carry on. And there are questions, Ali, that we will ask. You will fall now in the rotation of those questions that are being asked. As a matter of fact, I was beginning another rotation. In our rotation, each candidate has had an opportunity to go first. And you are arriving at a time when I was selecting a first person to go. Ali, can you answer or give us your thoughts about attracting and retaining high skill faculty and staff? If you're going to be a high performing district, you need to somehow be able to attract and retain the best of the best high performing faculty and staff. Do you have thoughts or recommendations on how to do that if you were on the board?
Well, first of all, that I think that compensation, of course, is the most important thing. Is that how people are going to to have a living wage as an educator? I think that's huge. Another thing is that the culture and climate in terms of a district creates, and this is something that I have to say that I have observed with YCS. There's a passion among the board members, and I have to admit, it has been starting with Dr. Hawkins, and with that they have this unity. They have a climate that starts top bottom, and I think that's huge. One thing that I've noticed is I think that you've got to create the conditions to put teachers in the best position of serving our students and making sure that teaching and learning is done. And that's one thing that I have to say that I have witnessed in terms of the last 2 years that I've been around school board meetings here in Ypsilanti, that there is that commitment. So both of those things, I think it's compensation, and it's got to be a culture that is developed from the top to the bottom.
Thank you. And welcome to the floor.
Thank you. I apologize.
I'm going to reverse this a little bit. Alex, I'm going to start with you and see if we could get your thoughts on that very same question, attracting the best.
Well, we have the good work of the board and under the governance during the terms of Dr. Hawkins. I've seen a lot of development in terms of developing magnet schools and sorry, I'm trying to find my note. And just the international school is becoming sought after, and students are looking to join. And as far as new things that we could enact, I want to see more of our getting connected in the community, helping to meet our needs in and out of school. And I think further integration into the community and the good work being done in and outside of the school would be a good way to get more of that.
Okay, same question. Talisha?
I think for attracting and retaining high performing faculty and staff and talent into the district, one of the things that we could do is talk to our teachers, find out what their challenges and what they believe the challenges and the strengths are for our district. And we can use that to inform areas that we can continue to grow, as well as areas that we need to see some improvement. And also continuing to foster an environment among the district, as well as within the community, that really values our educators for the important role that they do for our students and educating our students, and what that means really for each student. Another thing for attracting and retaining high quality and highly skilled faculty and staff is, I think, improving, creating a supportive work environment, which it sounds like is something that the district might be one of the district's strengths. Improving compensation so that we can be competitive, but that also means that we need to improve our funding as well. And as well as providing opportunities for professional growth. So those are some of the things that I think about when I think about
30 seconds
and
left.
retaining staff. Some of the other things that that you generally hear from teachers are about the workload and responsibilities, burnout. And so, evaluating our policies and working with the team to see what we can do as a board, as for what falls in line with our role and how we can support teachers in that space. And then I think a big one, advocating for funding so we can be competitive. Thank you.
And thank you. Celeste, same question.
Thank you. I would say some of the things that we could continue to do, and some of the things that we've already done to attract and retain our teachers, would be really being consistent about collecting and responding to employee satisfaction data. So looking at, what does that exit interview process reveal to us? What does that inform us on in terms of what changes we might need to make as a district? I think making sure that all of our employees are heard, seen, valued, and respected. Most people don't leave jobs because of pay. Data tells us it's because they don't feel that they are valued as a member of that particular community is really a higher reason why people leave their positions. So, and that's something that we say a lot in YCS, that we want to make sure our students, our staff, our teachers, everyone who is in YCS feels seen, heard, valued, and respected. And that has to show up in action, right? Not just through words. I would also say to make sure we're collaborating with and listening to what our educators and our staff in the district are saying. People help to support what they support what they help to build, is what we also often say in YCS. And I think making sure that we have high expectations and high support in the same way we talk about that for our students, we have to match that with making sure our teachers, we have high expectations for them as professionals, but we also make sure we couple that with high support so that they can feel successful and supported in their roles. And then making sure, lastly, I'll just say, making sure we have a positive relationship and a collaborative working relationship with our union.
Don, your thoughts.
I really appreciate that you offered that at the end there, Celeste, because that was definitely something I was thinking about in this and that really being in positive communication relationship with the union. I know that that's oftentimes where we actually have to go to when we think about what is the pay right now, what is the pay scale, right? And so working towards getting that competitive pay and benefits, but also then thinking about additional ways that we can support our teachers. Maybe it's the resources available in the school, maybe it's their materials, and also professional development opportunities. How are we able to, if it's not that we can put something down as a bottom line dollar, where else can we support our teachers? I also just want to take a moment to commend and celebrate those teachers who are there, who have been there in the district and who continue to pour into the students. They have, I've seen educators in this district work at 8 p.m. to get students things, right? It's folks are constantly investing in the kids. And so it's not oftentimes, as Celeste was saying, teachers aren't leaving because of the kids that they're teaching. It's oftentimes the rest of the environment, right? And it can be something like, the supervisors they have, or the administration they have, or the parents that they're working with, right? And so we want to make sure that we're actually building out our community. We're creating a culture of belonging across the whole district, where students and teachers and parents can work together. Because I think oftentimes what I see is that educators are like, I love working with these kids, but I don't know what to do about these things that are coming in from all these other areas. And so it's about really kind of creating a culture where people recognize that we're all working towards the same goals. Creating that culture of belonging, helping teachers feel like they're not just there to do their job, but they're there because they matter. And so it's really about, even thinking about how we do things like onboard teachers, right? Is there an opportunity to think about onboarding a teacher with a senior experienced teacher, so that we're doing some pairing so folks can feel like they're connected to what's going on in the district and connected to the community? I love that so many of our educators live and work in the Ypsilanti area. So they're not just teaching, they're working with their neighbors, they're working with their nieces and nephews, right? And so I think, again, thinking about this as a full family, YCS has this amazing culture where we are a community. And I think that continuing to support it and help it flourish is really where we can see this opportunity.
I appreciate the answers of each of you in this whole series of questions, and I will start to wind down while I continue to look for any audience participation. But while we're talking about attracting and retaining, and let me pose this question to you, Talisha. While we're talking about attracting and retaining faculty and staff, what about students? Attracting and retaining students in the district. Your thoughts about any policy changes that could be made, suggestions otherwise?
Yeah, that's a great question, and a really important one. And so over the past decade, Ypsilanti Community Schools has experienced an overall decline in enrollment, though it looks like we've begun to see a slight rebound from that in 2021 school year. So that's really good. And so I think one of the things that we can do is look at have some conversations to find out what did we do around that time, what sort of things are working, so we know what things to continue. And then in addition to that, currently only about 42% of the students in our district go to school in this district. And so it is really important that we, retain and attract students, especially those who are already living here, into the district. And some of the things the district has already been doing that I would have said as it relates to this is, again, strengthening those academic programs to provide high quality academic opportunities, increasing opportunities for STEM learning, advanced placement courses. I think those are crucial as families see those options for their students. They're more likely to select schools that have those options. As a parent, considering schools for my daughter, I've heard many folks say that they would either go to WISE or they're going to AAPS. And that's something that I heard very often. So I think engaging with parents who are in the process of making that decision and finding out why they're making those choices. What is it about WISE that folks are interested in, and how can we create a high quality and comparable opportunities across all of our school districts. Schools within the district. And then fostering supportive environments, improving the reputation of the school, and sort of taking control of the narrative and really letting folks know about what YCS really has to offer. Thank you.
Your thoughts, same question, Celeste.
So just a few thoughts I would just add to student retention. One, I think you really have to be able as a district to answer the question why, whatever, fill in the blank, why YCS? And I think you need to be able to not only talk about some of your challenges, because if you show me a school district that doesn't have challenges, I'll tell you you're not telling me the truth, right? So you have to be able to tell your own story. And I think in YCS, I said earlier that, perception for many is reality. And I think speaking life over Ypsilanti Community Schools is something that I pride myself on, having had firsthand experience in the district, knowing that we have outstanding, amazing educators. We have scholars in the district who attend their schools. And so I'm very, very careful about the words that I use when I describe my community and when I describe the district that my kids attend, because someone else's kids attend this district. So I'm just very sensitive, I think, to that. And I just often kind of push back in terms of retention and recruitment of students is to come visit. Don't listen to what you heard. Come see what's happening in our schools, because we are doing amazing things. We have amazing teachers. And I talk about my own children's experiences. Having some of the best educators that really prepared them. And I have said this in opening day. All three of my children, are going on to college. And I would say that is a true testament to the educational opportunities and experiences that they had in YCS. So that's a testament to the teaching and the access and the exposure that YCS gave to my students. And so I'm always lifting up YCS, our community, our students, our staff, and our parents, because without all of them, we don't have a school district.
Yep. Thank you. Caroline, I see your hand. I will come to you after I complete this round of questioning. Don, you're next. Same question.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate what's been said already. I think that the district is already doing some great things. I drive around the community. I see "Say Yes to YCS" signs. It's about this promotion. It's about this celebrating the district. It's about highlighting these amazing programs that are available. Like the robotics team has been incredible for years, right? These Spanish immersion programs, their technical programs, the culinary arts programs. All of these things are incredible. And now we have the IB programs and the magnet schools. I think that there are a lot of things that are happening that are amazing, and dual enrollment, that there's opportunities to just promote, right? Our superintendent is incredible. She's received awards, right? How widespread is that known? So those are the types of things I think about, is that when we do have successes, how well are we sharing those? Because the district is having success. And so it's not for a lack of effort, it's for a lack of information for a lot of folks about YCS schools. I think, yes, we do have lots of options around us, and that does make it difficult. So I think particularly, I think it's prioritizing with folks who are going into school, as Talisha was saying, with kindergarten, with preschool.
30 seconds.
Like, parents are making decisions that are going to have an impact on where students go for the next 10, 12 years. So being mindful of the fact that that's where we need to start, and really being focused, again, going back to transportation and ease of access for students to get into the schools, because we want to make sure that once they start there, that they continue in YCS schools. So that for me is where we can really think about bringing in more students, is trying to start early.
2 minutes up.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Allie, your thoughts on this question of attracting and retaining students?
You know what? It's a combination of teaching and learning. And I think that I'm really a strong advocate of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I think it comes to the aspect of building self-esteem to understand that you're successful. So you have to have programs in place. And I believe that they are in place in the YCS in terms of people being able to self-actualize as students, really understand that they can be the best that they can be, and also know that there's something out there for them. And I think that starts at a very young age with the idea of understanding how to be successful. So there has to be interventions in place, excuse me, that serve each and every student. That if somebody is behind, how are we going to get them to catch up? It's really important for students to understand the intrinsic value of succeeding. And once they get that idea, then they want to do it again. You know, success leads to success, failure leads to failure. But sometimes we have to intervene as a school district to put that in place, because we're not there 24/7. We have an opportunity 8 hours a day to be able to give that to our students. I think another thing that's really important is the relationships that are built between the teachers and the students.
30 seconds.
And there has to be a relationship on both ends. It has to be the word relate, that the teacher can relate to the student. Therefore, I think the student will relate to the teacher. And I think that's ultimately really important.
Thank you. Alex, you have the last word on this point of attracting and retaining students.
Yeah. So without retreading too much ground that's already been covered, I do want to say that, well, first of all, the last question about retaining staff, I answered as if students, because I misheard, and I'm sorry about that. So I'm going to retread what I said a little bit about the international school being a big draw, and about doing events out in the community. There was a thing for Touch a Truck for the young students that just all the little kids were so excited to get to like see like the buses and the tow trucks and the fire truck. It was really neat. And as well as addressing unmet needs in the community, because one of the big barriers that we face is that we are an under-resourced community. And so if we can continue and expand on the efforts we have now in conjunction with ongoing efforts in the community itself with these things, we can try to make sure that no kids in this town are hungry. And I think that would go a long way towards drawing people to us as well.
Thank you, Alex. Caroline, coming right to you, your hand.
Yes, hello. I'm still concerned about the effect of COVID and the learning loss. Actually, apparently there's some data that shows highly affluent districts. In those districts, students have recovered more quickly than those in less resourced areas. And I'm just concerned on, the money from the Recovery Act runs out at the end of 2024, but students still have, I think, a great deal of recovery to do. And I was wondering if anybody has any ideas about how we can continue to address this.
Okay. I see Allie would like to go first on this.
Well, one thing that I've learned during my time of serving the school district is the blueprint school district, or I'm sorry, the blueprint district that we have been designated. And I believe that as I looked at it, it was something that appeared to be interventions to get us through COVID and transition out of COVID. But as I look at being somebody that does believe in multi-tiered systems of support, the blueprint district puts that in place. So if there is any loss of time, we know a way to address the deficiencies of some students that were suffered during that time. So there are things in place. We just have to be assured to identify the student and implement those interventions.
Okay. Who'd like to go next? Same question. Alex?
So I was actually looking, and a lot of our scores are approaching or at where we were pre-COVID, according to one thing I read. And I think part of recovery ought to be recognizing the ongoing impact of having, constantly getting reinfected with airborne illnesses that have potentially downstream long-term effects. So I would definitely propose working on better ventilation and air purification. That is one often overlooked component and will result in overall just better health. Even like it'll help with things like flu or allergies, which can also plague students.
Okay. Other thoughts on that same question? Any other candidate?
Yeah, I'll go. I think I actually do agree in terms of building maintenance and having air filtration and that sort of thing. It is really critical. It was something that maybe wasn't at the forefront prior to COVID that really came to the surface as important. I also think that we have to be aware of not only what the academic impact of the pandemic has been, but the emotional impact. Not only, I had a kid who was at home, was in kindergarten and pulled out. You know how those years are so critical for socialization and learning from your peers. And she didn't have a lot of that, right? She was learning from myself and my wife. And so it's really about recognizing that these students need support across not only academics, but their well-being. The fact that many of these students not only just were isolated, but they actually probably lost people, right? As you said, districts who have higher incomes tend to have seen that rebound. Well, we also know that COVID impacted people who were lower income greater. So I think being mindful that some of these students have experienced trauma in this. So thinking solely about where their academics are can be detrimental to them if you're not actually looking at the full picture of the child and what they might need at this time to help them get back to a place where they can feel comfortable and feel safe and feel like they can participate in the learning. So I think that's something that's really critical.
Excellent. Thank you. And Caroline, excellent question. Thank you so very much for calling that out. We're coming to the end of our time together. I have thoroughly enjoyed this experience, but I don't want to close this without giving each candidate an opportunity to give just closing remarks. in terms of whatever you want to put. But Caroline, you put the clock on this. Put it for 1 minute. I want to give every person, because of our time allotment, will have 1 minute to just give a closing statements. We'll begin with you, Don.
Dr. Hawkins, did you have something else you wanted to add? I just wanted to acknowledge.
I did. I know we're bumping up against time, but I did want to just say something, if I could, really quickly in relation to Caroline's question. Might I be able to do that, Mr. Rutledge?
If you could do it in 30 seconds.
I'm going to try my best.
Okay.
So I just only wanted to mention, and I just have a couple of quick points, is that we need to make sure we advocate at the state level for resources and funding for mental health resources. Our state budget, we have to follow the money. Our state budget was recently cut and not as much money is coming to the district. But in spite of all of that, COVID exacerbated issues of inequity that were already present. So we just have to be clear about that part. And then I will just say, if you go around the district, we have orange signs on all of our buildings designating us as a Cognia accredited school, which means that even in the pandemic, we exceeded our educational quality and effectiveness and had rigor. And we got that accreditation after the pandemic. So I just wanted to put that in there. So when we're talking about recruitment and retention, and we're talking about the impacts of COVID, this is an international accreditation that our school district has, and it is an independent group that accredited school districts. And in spite of the pandemic and everything that came with that, we are still, in spite of, really doing a lot of amazing things and doing well, considering all of the issues that were exacerbated as a result of the pandemic. Thank you for allowing me to talk for 30 seconds, and I know it was longer, so I appreciate grace.
Since while you still have the floor, I'm going to start with you with giving your closing statement. Since you have the floor, can you do that instead of 1 minute and 50 seconds?
Yeah, I'll try to
give us your closing statement, and then Don will come to you.
Okay. Sounds good. So I would just say that, I've served on the board since 2012, as most people know. And I chose to run for the school board again, because just of my deep commitment and passion to wanting to make sure all of the systems that we put in place stay intact and they don't get disrupted in any way. I know that, it's challenging to be on a school board, but I'm committed to not only just the school district, but Ypsilanti more broadly and the school district specifically, because I know that both are intrinsically linked and contribute to the overall health and viability of any thriving community. So if I'm reelected to serve on the school board, I'll continue to focus on improving academic achievement, attracting, hiring, and retaining excellent teachers, increasing access for students, for expanded academic options, making sure we have a keen focus on our attendance rates. We didn't talk about that tonight. Increasing student supports, engaging student voice, and really making sure we're keeping an eye on the disproportionate rates of discipline and achievement that impact students from marginalized communities. So, and then the last thing I'll say is that I've always remained firmly grounded and planted in who I am. And my vision is clear. My service on the school board is to positively impact the lives of students academically, socially, and emotionally, to serve the community, be good stewards of the district's resources, and make sure that I'm doing everything I can to make sure we have a healthy, thriving school district.
Don.
Thank you.
You're on deck, Talisha.
My apologies. My facilitator mode stepped in briefly. I hope I didn't overstep too much, but I I believe that I could be a great member of this school board because I think that I am invested in building out relationships. I'm invested and I have done the research as well. I come from an academic background. I'm invested in data. I've looked at it. I've had to compile it before in my own experiences. So not only do I know how to interpret it, but I've actually had to be the person putting it together, right? I've been the person trying to make sure all the students can get to school on count day. I've been there. And so I think just my experiences as well as my relationships that I have built over time in this community have put me in a great position to support the school district even more than I have. I'm really looking forward. All the folks on this panel have been fantastic. I believe all of us could do a great job with this district. And I'm just really excited because I see these improvements and these things happening, and I just want to be a participant in it. So I continue to advocate for social justice and equity in our schools. I continue to advocate for mental health well-being opportunities and social emotional learning and thinking about those school discipline issues. Those are things that have always been at the forefront of my work. And I want to continue that effort within the school board. So
Thank you so very much, Don. Talisha, Alex, you're on deck.
So thanks again to the Washtenaw County Democratic Party, everyone here participating and watching. As a newcomer to the district, I want to first and foremost acknowledge that I still have much to learn and a lot of listening to do, really. I'm committed to building strong relationships within and across our district to gain a deep understanding about our district's history, needs, experiences, and if elected, I'll make informed decisions rooted in those learnings. And it's important that we continue to advocate for our school district and tell our story. As some of you may have heard today, some of the key areas that I've been thinking about and focusing on are enhancing student achievement and opportunities, equitable opportunities across the district, as well as attracting and retaining students. Those things are really important, not only for the school financially, also strengthens our community. Finally, improving academic achievement is essential for ensuring that every student can achieve their desired goals. So I'm running for the board because I believe that education, specifically K-12 education, is one of the most important components in our society. And I want to foster and support the joy of learning with every student in the district and support the voices of our teachers, parents, and community. Thank you.
Thank you. Alex, and then Ali, you'll close us out.
So I am running because I deeply value schools as the heart of our community out here. I see so many wonderful things being done, and I would love to be a part of them and support them. I'm very proud to have my kid go to I'm just wonderfully happy accident. We lived out here, had a kid, and I'm just overjoyed that how lucky I am that we are in a good district. So I would like to be a part of making specifically like trying to find ways for us to meet the unmet needs of the people in our community that are struggling. I would like to find ways to get funding to take care of our students and our staff, their health and well-being, and pay them what they're worth so we can so that they want to stay, in addition to providing the other, because like we pointed out earlier, it isn't just money, but money is a factor. Anyway, thank you very much for your time, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to have gotten to meet everybody. This is really heartening.
Ali? Ali?
I'm going to close as I was hoping to start. So I'm going to introduce myself. I've been a lifelong advocate for public education. I've been an educator for over 40 years. in education, 39 years as a contracted worker, 32 of those in the classroom, 7 of those as a assistant principal. In post-retirement, I've had interim opportunities since retiring in 2016 through just this June of 2024. 5 elementaries, 2 middle schools, 2 alternative ed schools. And for a period of time, I was working with the Detroit Educational Authority at Mumford High School. I'm a gun sense candidate with Everytown USA. Recently, I've had the great opportunity to address the YCS school board regarding the adoption of a district gun safety resolution. During that time, that's when I decided that I wanted to run for school board, because I was witnessing the great things that they were doing, and I wanted to be part of that team.
Thank you
all.
I'd like to just final comments. Thank our host, Eli Nathan. Nathan. Thank our timekeeper, Caroline, and the Democratic Party of our county for this nonpartisan opportunity to hear directly from our candidates. I stand in awe of these candidates and have enjoyed every moment of this. And the reason that I so much appreciate what I'm hearing and seeing is that it's running for public office is not easy. It not only takes commitment, it takes courage. And these people have stepped up and qualified. I'd like to end my comments before I turn this back over to our host with the quote from John F. Kennedy. He said, our privileges can be no greater than our obligation. We have a privilege of freedom. We have a huge obligation to protect that freedom by voting. Please vote. Now back to our host, Eli Nathans.
I have just one thing to say. Amen. Have a great evening. I hope to see you at future Washington Dems meetings. Thank you so much, David Rutledge, for serving as moderator. Thank you, participants, for participating in this panel.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Have a good night.